Okay, it is Friday at 2:37 p.m. and I am finally sitting down to stitch and record this video, and if I'm really lucky, I'll get it up in time for 6 p.m. for the start of our Friday night stitch-in. If I'm not so lucky, it's going to be a little bit late, so I guess that we'll find out one way or the other. As you can see, I am once again working on Prairie Schooler Woodland Santas, booklet 96, right there. These adorable woodland Santas. And as you can see, I'm almost done. I have done very little stitching since last week on this project. I did was it last Monday? Yeah, it was last Monday already. On my regular floss tube episode, I talked about that Santa needed a face, and I was bound and determined before I went to bed that Santa was going to have a face. So now all I have left to do is, there's a candle coming up from his hand, and so I've got that to do, and what else? The tree. And there's a bit of snow. I'm missing some snow. I think someone had said that I was missing some snow on one of these branches here, but when I look at the pattern, there isn't any snow on this branch right there underneath the reindeer, and I can't see that I've missed 1, 2, 3. I can't see that I've missed any other snow. I don't know. Unless there was a correction to the pattern, maybe. But, you know, maybe I'll add some snow in to this branch anyways. I hadn't noticed it until somebody had pointed it out, that there was snow missing, and she said that it was in the pattern. But I'm looking right at the pattern, and I don't think I missed anything. Anyway, that's okay. It's all good. Moving on. So today's stitch with me could be really good, or it could be disastrous, because as you can tell, I have mostly just the tree to finish here and the candle. Other than the tree, the snow that's on the tree, the rest of the tree, and the candle, that's it. Other than that, it's done. I finished the tree that's behind Santa's back. I finished his face and his hat, so that's all completed. So, you know, I guess it's just a whole pile of DMC 520 and white, and that's it. And then it is all complete. So what should we start with today? How about we start with some white? Let's maybe do a bit of fill-in of some snow on these branches. See what we can do. I have my, I thought I had my scissors ready to go. Where are they? Got all of my miscellaneous things beside me, and I seem to have left my scissors. So, oh, wait, no I didn't. They're up here. I have a little tray that's attached to my floor frame, and I keep lots of stuff up there, and I'd forgotten that I'd already gone to get my scissors. It's going to be one of those Fridays. All right, needle ready to go. So yes, Friday, 2:37. Where are we now? 2:41. So Friday late afternoon, Nicholas will be home from school soon. Sarah is already home and doing some homework downstairs. It was just the, what did I do here? Hang on. American Thanksgiving was yesterday. So a very happy belated Thanksgiving to all of my American friends. And if you are still celebrating with your families, I hope you're going to have a wonderful weekend. I know that this is one of the biggest travel weekends of the whole year. So I hope that if you did have to travel somewhere to visit friends and family, that your trip wasn't too arduous. Okay, so there is a little bit of snow down here. So I can tell already I'm going to have to do a lot of traveling with my thread. So we're going to start down here, the bottom. I was seeing lots of lovely Instagram posts of people's Thanksgiving turkeys and desserts and all of those kinds of wonderful, delicious, special holiday foods that tend to make a yearly appearance at our celebrations. And I'll tell you, I actually myself roasted a small chicken last night. And at the moment, the bones of that chicken are simmering away down in the kitchen because I'm going to make a soup for dinner tonight. It's always my favorite thing to do with a leftover whole chicken. I roast the whole chicken on the bone, and then I love to do that because then I get to make a nice soup from the carcass, which is a horrible word, but there you have it. So I like to use all the parts of the bird. So I'm making a butternut squash carrot soup tonight, and I am the type of cook that I don't usually tend to follow a recipe. I generally tend to just throw things together and taste as I go. It's fairly instinctive. I tend to know what flavors work well together. So this soup is very, very basic. It's just you simmer the bones for, a couple of hours. I do it on a low heat, simmer the bones for a couple of hours, get all of the flavor out. And then I cook a couple of butternut squash in the microwave or in the oven. Oh, we hear more sirens outside. It is Black Friday. I know that it's kind of an American thing, Black Friday, but we now seem to have Black Friday here in Canada as well. And the traffic outside today is absolutely insane. So I'm not surprised. I've been hearing, just like last Friday we had that snowstorm, I've been hearing a lot of sirens outside again today. I think there's been a fair number of traffic accidents outside. People are a little impatient, and I think there's been a fair number of accidents. So I boil up the bones for a couple of hours, and then you strain the broth from the bones, and then I take that cooked squash, the butternut squash, from wherever I've cooked it, and you have it, I cook it whole. And if you are going to cook it whole in the microwave, make sure that you pierce the skin all over before you start to cook it, or it will explode in your microwave. Easiest way to cook it is probably just to bake it in the oven, but I do it in the microwave to save time. And so you cook it, and then I scoop out all of the lovely insides of the squash, and I put that into the broth. And then I usually will also, at the same time that I'm cooking the squash, I will also cook up a bag full of carrots, big carrots, and so that they're cooked as well, pre-cooked. And then I put this cooked squash and the cooked carrots into the broth, and I add spices at that point. So the different spices that I use are lots of curry powder and ginger. I'm a little light on the ginger because the kids find it a bit hot, a bit spicy hot if I use too much. So I use a light hand with the ginger. The curry you can get away with using a little bit more. It's really the ginger that provides the heat. So curry powder, ginger, a little bit of cumin, and so those are probably in order of, I probably use the most curry powder. Then I use a little bit of ginger and a little bit of ground coriander. And then I use a lot of salt. So I do heavily salt it. I find it's a little bit bland without it. And then I bring it to a gentle simmer. Let those spices cook a little bit in the broth and the vegetables. And then that's about it. You can add some cream to it if you like that. You can add some coconut milk for something a little bit different. I love coconut milk. It is delicious. So a little bit of coconut milk in with that butternut. It's so yummy. And I'm sorry this really isn't a proper recipe, but sometimes it's really fun in the kitchen to just kind of throw things together until they taste right. So you keep tasting as you go. Clean spoon every time. And then in the end, you have a delicious pot full of soup. So John is headed out to the grocery store in a little bit and also to the post office for me. And I'm going to have him pick up a loaf of nice, fresh, toasty bread to go along with our soup, which should be nice. All right, I think I'm at the end. I'm out of thread. I'm not going to be able to pull that further. So let's end this one. And then we'll move over, get another length going. So speaking of the post office, oh, the post office has been rather a trial this week. So I have spent way too much time this week on shipping issues for Evertote, which is my small business. I make project bags for stitchers and knitters. And Canada Post is currently undergoing rotating strikes. The union, they are striking. It's government, it's a government entity, Canada Post, and not to take sides or anything, because, I think that there are always two sides to a story. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't strike. My experience, though, is from the standpoint of a small business retailer trying to, run a small business at Christmas time. And it's not easy when your National Postal Service, look what I did. I have a knot in this and I cannot undo it. When your National Postal Service goes on strike right at Christmas time and they don't seem willing to negotiate, things aren't looking good. So, we've been told all along these are rotating strikes and the service would continue to run and, keep sending things as normal and life will carry on. Obviously, we expected a little bit of a slowdown. You know what? I'm not even going to bother with this. I'm just cutting this off. Because you know what? I'd rather be stitching than pulling apart a knot. So we are just gonna, instead of locking myself in to that one long strand, I'm gonna, look at that, I'm gonna use 2 strands. There we go. So we are now in the 5th week, and not even the beginning, I'm nearing the end of the 5th week of rotating strikes. And I live in Southern Ontario, Canada, and guess where the hardest hit area apparently has been? Southern Ontario. So they are, you know, I'm on an email update list from Canada Post where they send out a few daily emails about where the latest rotating strike is happening, various cities across the country, where those strikes have been lifted, and just general updates on service and things like that. So, yeah, entering the end of the 5th week of the strike, and the vast majority of my bags are, well, I use the mail. I ship them. I sell very little locally. Most of my things need to be delivered by some sort of service. And in order for that service to be affordable, I've always had to, you know, use Canada Post because their rates were, you know, it was, where am I going here? I need to put in these 2 stitches. That's it. I forgot to do these 2 little guys right there. And you all probably noticed that I left them out. Let's go back and fill them in right now. Canada Post it's not inexpensive, and that's why the shipping cost on my bags is what it is. I think in the States, you are used to a lower cost when you are shipping things domestically, whereas here in Canada, our prices are a little bit higher. And I don't add money to my shipping costs when I sell a bag. That's what it costs me to send it. So I've spent most of my week trying to find an alternative so that I can still carry on business as usual, but, you know, get my bags out, because there is a delay. There is bags that I sent out at the beginning of November. There are a few that still haven't arrived yet, which is frustrating for both me and the customer. You know, it's not really fair. So I didn't want to send any more international or US orders through Canada Post, because even if the strike is resolved, and our government did actually mandate back to work legislation just yesterday, but you know, that's not going to happen with a snap of a fingers. It's going to take a little bit of time, and there's a backlog there. So I have now found an alternate delivery company to send out packages. So it means that I can carry on as usual, but it's not something that is close by in my city. So I actually have to either drive about an hour and 20 minutes one way to get to the drop-off location, or I have to package everything in a box and FedEx it to them, and then they take care of the rest. However, I am just grateful that I have found a solution. So that was a really long way to say that business is carrying on as usual. And if you ordered a bag that was marked shipped by Canada Post and you still have not received it yet, feel free to email me and I can send you a PDF copy of the mitten pattern for the kit so that you can get started on that whenever you'd like. And I apologize for any delay. You should get it soon. But nothing else is going through Canada Post. There we go. 1, 2. There's 2 in there. And then 1 more beside. I am all over the place with my snow here. I'm not really following a path. Just trying to not miss anything. Is there any on here? Yes, there is. Down there, and there's a little bit there. I think I've got all of these. Are any inside? Nope, there's none inside, but there is some there. So it's a little bit, where is it? It's a little bit far, so I think I'm going to tack my thread down to get over there. stitches. Oop. It actually connects these two branches here. So 1, 2. I'm going to do this one with this leg of it going up, because when I'm working diagonally, I like to have that bottom stitch pulled the right way and not have to. Does that make sense? Because if I had brought it down in the bottom and then brought my thread over to the right, then the thread from behind wouldn't have pulled in the way that I wanted it to pull, so that it creates that little opening that's just a little bit neater there. I don't do it every time, but it is my preferred, because now I can put my needle cleanly into that hole that's there. So 1, 2, 3. So it's not the most, it's not the path of least resistance like I talked about last time, but it is, it makes sense to my brain, how my brain works, how I want the thread to look. Okay, I think there's one up here. Yep. And then there are a few tucked away down in this little corner here. So we'll go 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Such a pretty design. I am ready to be finished it though, aren't you? Bet you're sick of it. That's okay though. That is okay, because I am stubborn that way. If I say I'm going to do something, well, it's not coming off the frame until it's done. So I do apologize that it's a bit dull, but however, it's going to get finished. Okay, so I think I need to carry up into here and put some snow on those branches there. There we go. I am headed to see my parents this weekend. Looking forward to spending a bit of time with them. And Sunday afternoon is the very next stitch-in Hamilton that is organized and very, very, very capably organized by Crafty Kim. And Kim, if you're watching this tonight, thank you again for all of the hard work that you do to put on that event for us, because it's really a fun time. We're a little bit of a smaller group this time, with, I think there are 30 people coming, and that's because we had to have a smaller room this time. The rest of the recreational rooms were booked for most likely holiday parties and things like that that were going on. It's at a recreation center in Hamilton, and it's so much fun. So it's potluck. I have no idea what I'm going to take yet to share for the potluck part of it, and I actually am going to have to leave a little bit early because my daughter has a youth orchestra concert this weekend. So I do not want to miss that. So I need to hop back in the car. Wait a second. Uh-oh. You know what? I actually wasn't supposed to do those. But you know what? We're going to leave them. Don't tell. No one's going to know that those extra two white stitches don't belong there. We're going to leave them. We are moving on. Just a little bit of extra snow, right? Saying again. Oop, look. Oop, oop, oop. I shortchanged my X there. Let's back it up. There we go. Back up the trolley. So I will spend tomorrow afternoon and evening visiting with my mom and dad. And then on Sunday, I'll head over to the Stitch Inn in Hamilton and get to catch up with some friends there. And then I'll head home for the concert. So it's going to be a really busy weekend. But it's all really fun things. So it's all good. Oh, you know what? I just did the same thing again. Why am I doing that? Keep missing the... There. That's better. Now, is that... I think this is a fill-in here of 2 stitches in the crook of the branch. 1, 2. Now, in case you needed reminding or had forgotten or time snuck up on you like it snuck up on me, this coming Sunday is the last Sunday of November. Oh, there's more sirens out there. Oh dear. So this coming Sunday is the last Sunday of the month. And if you have hung out with me here for a little while on Off the Grid Needle Arts, and you know what? I always think I forget to do this. I forget to introduce myself. So we are already like half an hour into the video, but hey, let me introduce myself. My name is Caroline, and this is my channel, Off the Grid Needle Arts. And every last Sunday of the month, we have something called High Tea, and we celebrate starting something new and something special. So something that you've got squirreled away in your stash that is just something that you have been waiting for the right time to start. Because high tea is a special thing, right? So starting something new should be a special thing too. So the last Sunday of the month, we celebrate starting something new, and we share all about it on the Friday Off the Grid Facebook group. There's a video that I'll put out on Sunday, and there's also a giveaway at the end of the video. I do one a month. Now, I am a little bit behind. I still have not sent out last month's winner, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's mostly because of the postal strike. I have sent out a few other Because Monday giveaways, and I haven't heard back from people that they have received them. So just like I have stopped sending bags through Canada Post, I have now stopped sending giveaways through Canada Post. And I'm either going to wait for the situation to resolve, or I'm going to find out if I can send those giveaways affordably through this third-party carrier, because, well, you know, I'm paying for this myself, so I'd like it to be affordable. Wait a sec. Oh yeah, there is 3 stitches there. 1, 2, 3. And where was I with that? Right. Okay. So, but I will still do the giveaways. There just might be a slight bit of a delay before you receive the giveaways. And I do appreciate your patience. But I love doing giveaways, and I don't want to stop doing it just because it might take me a little longer to get them out the door. So next Sunday is 3 days from now. Not even 2 days from now, because today is mostly at the end of the day for a Friday. Sunday is high tea. I am thinking that I might record a video at my parents' house. And Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, I'm hoping that I can convince you to be in the video with me. So I think that will be a lot of fun to record a video with them this weekend. Hopefully they're up for it. My father has done it before, but I've never gotten my mom on camera before, so we'll see. And Mom, if you're watching this tonight, be brave. You can do it. I'll be nice. So we're going to celebrate a new start on Sunday, and then next week, it is almost time. It's almost time for Flossmas to start, which is our crazy ornament start a day that I'm starting December 1st. And I'll just tell you, there are going to be a few giveaways. There are going to be shenanigans and hijinks of the stitching kind. Just kidding. It's going to be me recording little videos about my stitching because I like to share it. I like to talk too, so there might be some talking on these videos. All right, let's see. We've got the top 4, and I think I'm just missing a little bit of snow down here. Oh my goodness, 3 stitches. That's it. I need a whole length of thread just for 3 stitches because I need to stitch some more of the tree before I can go ahead and do more snow. So it's all good. So I still have to do the candle. There's a flame on the candle as well that Santa is holding. So I've been debating what to do with the candle flame because I think what's charted for this, I don't know if you can see it, but the candle flame, it's kind of really yellow, which, you know, it's a flame, right? But I was wondering if I might make the candle flame gold to match the horn. What do you think? Is that yellow enough or is it too muted? Because I've got 2 choices here, and I think I know which one I want to do. So the one that I used for the horn was antique gold. So these are Victorian Motto sampler shop threads, and I purchased the Victorian Christmas collection, and I'm going to be using these heavily in my ornament stitching for December, which is super exciting. So this is the color that I used for the horn, antique gold. And I keep my extra threads, I keep them attached to the tag. I just, you know, put them back on the tag. Then there's this Victoriana gold, this one here. I think this one might be a better one for the flame, don't you think? So the horn is a little bit more muted and the flame is a little bit more gold. So I think that'll work. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's yellow enough for a flame? I think it is. I think this isn't quite the right color for a flame. I was going to match it to the horn, but when I look at the 2 of them together, I think that's a better choice. Anyways, if you disagree with me, let me know. I never mind constructive criticism. Okay, let's add in those 3 stitches and get them done, shall we? I'm going to come in down at the bottom of that branch. There. I think it's the bottom 2. Yes, okay, so we'll start there. 1, 2. So we saw that there was a new Christmas movie. I think it's probably a Netflix original Christmas movie that's just recently been added to Netflix, and I think that we might watch that tonight as a family. I think that's the plan. And I will be both knitting and stitching. I'm going to be doing both. And I'm also, of course, going to be checking in. I'm going to carry this across. Be checking in with our Facebook group for Friday Off the Grid. Which is just so much fun. The stitching on there is incredible. Okay, look, there we go. Good. I don't think I missed anything. There wasn't any inside here or here. those were open. 1, 2, 3. All of those branches have snow. All of those branches have snow. These ones have snow, and these ones have snow. Okay, I can go back to growing my tree. There we go. And I can see, where is it? Oh, there it is. DMC 520. Good old 520. It's such a good green, isn't it? And it makes sense for me to leave that threaded because I know I'm going to need it again. And I'm going to find another, oh, that one has gold on it. Need to find an empty needle. Oopsie. There we go. So now we've got an empty needle for some 520. I'm always curious about others' floss storage. I like to bobbinate my DMC, and then as I'm using it, the length that I cut off, I will wrap it around my fingers and simply put it neatly on top of the bobbin while I'm stitching. And then I will be finding bobbins of thread all over the place because I have numerous places in my house where I stitch. So I stitch, I have a very, very patient husband because my house is full. There's a good reason why my podcast is called From the Stash Pile. I have a big stash and it's all over my house. I know where everything is, but I have many places where I like to craft because I like to hang out with my family. So I craft in the living room and I craft in my sewing space and I craft up here in my bedroom. This is where I'm recording this video. And so I have little bobbins of DMC all over the place depending on which project I'm working on. There. Okay. Time to start the next branch. And I have a feeling that this is the kind of thing that I would be foolish to try and stitch while talking. I think probably for the best. Because I can't. Yeah, something's a little off here. I think this is supposed to be, this is supposed to continue. I'm going to just, the corner of the pattern here, you're not going to get much from that. So I don't feel too ashamed of myself having that in the photo. Okay, so I think 1, 2, yes. Okay, so this is going to be there. Like that. For 2. And then above. Okay. A couple more. Let's fill in this branch. 2 more stitches. And then I think I'm going to have to say goodbye for this video. And there we go. Good. And then I'm going to bring my needle up and around and leave it there. That is it for me today. I hope you have some wonderful things planned for your weekend. If you're still celebrating Thanksgiving, that you're spending time with family and friends and just enjoying your time. If you're not in the States, I hope that you have lots of time for yourself this weekend to stitch to your heart's content. And I will see you on Sunday for high tea. And let's celebrate a new start. Happy stitching! Have a great weekend.